Bulls Nation, from the start to the end of the game, it was close, it was competitive, it was tough, and it was a grind out effort. The heart was in our chest, but this time, the Chicago Bulls managed to prevail, snapping a 3-game losing streak. So without further ado, let's talk about the Chicago Bulls versus the New York Knicks in this video. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? It's the Aidan Sports Show, and welcome back to another video. Today we've got a Chicago Bulls versus New York Knicks game reaction. And ladies and gentlemen, we've talked a lot about how the Chicago Bulls need to find ways to win games, how to find ways to compete in close, tight affairs. And this game, the Chicago Bulls managed to do that and did it very, very well. Some fantastic selection down the stretch, open shots, and the Bulls managed to clutch this one out in the fourth quarter. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aidan Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn notifications on. Let me know in the comments below who is your player of the game, even though I think it's fairly obvious for this one. And what did you guys think about the Bulls' victory today? Oh, look. There are a few things I have to talk about today, and a lot of respect needs to go out to the New York Knicks. But before we go to any of that, the score for today's game was 110-102. The Chicago Bulls was in the lead for most of this game. We have to be fair. The Chicago Bulls definitely deserved this win. We were in the lead majority of the game. We always seem to extend the lead to 6-7 point affairs, and the New York Knicks managed to fight it back. But my credit for the New York Knicks and my respect for the New York Knicks, because we talk a lot about the hype that the New York Knicks have around them this season and how they're a completely different team under Tom Thibodeau, who we should, of all teams, should know a lot about. But seeing it firsthand, seeing how good they are defensively, seeing how they do run out on the floor, and for a team that's not a three-point shooting team like the Knicks are, to be close in a lot of their games, it really is a testament of how good that they've been playing this season. But again, the Bulls is this channel, and the Bulls deserve a lot of praise for today's game. We managed, after so many close competitive games, I heard the commentators say, out of the 11 losses that we've had, 6 of them are in close competition, and the Bulls have lost a lot of those games. So 6 competitive losses, and we've won a few, but we've lost majority of them. This is a good step in the right direction in a close game, a game where, let's be honest, we all believed that the Chicago Bulls could blow this one, especially when the Knicks took the 1-point lead in the fourth quarter. They had a huge 3 by, I think his name's Quickly. He's been very, very good for them this season. Again, starting to get my head around these new players coming into the league, but he's been very, very good for them this season. And overall, the Bulls managed this at a very, very good pace, managed it with the right plays at the right time. Obviously, Zach LaVine was huge in this game towards the end and the fourth quarter and made the dagger. He got the dagger, and it was the right shot to take as well. Beautiful steps in the right direction, handling that fourth quarter pressure, and we are moving in the right direction. I know that we do lose a little bit more often than we would like. Our record is at a negative stance at the moment, but that doesn't mean that we're not progressing. That doesn't mean this team isn't growing. Thaddeus Young said it after in his post-game interview that the record doesn't reflect how good this team is. And I definitely agree with what Thaddeus Young has to say. Now, obviously, the Chicago Bulls need to do a lot better on the defensive end, needs to do a lot better in trying to limit turnovers, and that will come with time. And that's something you can't complain about in today's game as often as you'd like. But we are taking the next step. We are going in the right direction. And I think a win like this with a competition like the New York Knicks that are competing with us for that 8th seed, wins like this become very, very huge towards the goals you're trying to get towards the end of the season, towards the big games where you'd think the Bulls maybe just come out with some victories. And this was a very good team effort, very good team victory today. Let's go into individual performance because the Chicago Bulls was very well rounded today. Obviously, you start off with Larry Markkinen, 30 points, 2 assists, 5 rebounds. Larry Markkinen, for majority of this game, was on fire, was making shots left, right, and center, and was absolutely killing it for the Chicago Bulls, giving Zach LaVine a little bit of stress reliever. Kobe White didn't have to handle things as much as he needed to, and Larry Markkinen carried the load for us today. And again, We always talk about the best players for the Chicago Bulls need to step up. Well, today, Larry Markkinen stepped up to the point where Zach LaVine didn't need to have an amazing game. Kobe White didn't need to have an amazing game. Obviously, more often than not, you need Kobe White and Zach LaVine to have better games than what they did today. But Larry Markkinen stepped up, and that is the big part of this team. When players don't perform, or when, in Zach LaVine's case, you're in foul trouble, Thaddeus Young, foul trouble, you need to step up. Larry Markkinen stepped up in a big, big way today. Of course, defending Julius Randle, I think he needs to work on that because Julius Randle had an amazing game for the New York Knicks as well. But he himself definitely held his own, and I definitely think he got a great result out of that, and he did very, very well for this team. Obviously, we could talk about Zach LaVine, 21 points, 3 assists, and 5 rebounds. Zach LaVine was huge in the fourth quarter. Again, this guy was in foul trouble. He did play 32 minutes, so he managed him at a good pace. Billy Donovan did very well trying to manage him at the right times. And at the end of the game, because of that management, because Billy Donovan didn't keep him in the game for some of those stints where he probably wanted to stay in. When it mattered the most, Zach LaVine was in the game. So credit to Billy Donovan and credit to Zach LaVine for keeping yourself composed, keeping yourself ready to play. Again, it must be frustrating just coming in and then going, then coming in and then going. Zach LaVine did very, very well, and 21 points, 3 assists, 5 rebounds on a player that is in foul trouble. You can't ask too much more from Zach LaVine. I thought he did very, very well with what he was given today. Kobe White had 13 points, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds. Now, I'm not sure how many turnovers Kobe White had today, and I will put that on the screen. But something that I was very, very concerned about with Kobe White was that he was dribbling out of control today. It was like he was dribbling into no man's land. There were people getting steals from him, tipping the ball, and a lot of these things. Now, Kobe White didn't have a terrible game, in my opinion. Again, you'd like to see a little bit more balance. I'd like to see a little bit more confidence. And maybe that's what his confidence was today, just dribbling, and maybe he was overconfident. I'm not really sure what it was with Kobe White. It's not a bad game from him, but again, I would like to see a little bit more balance from Kobe White, a little bit more balance, and maybe some more scoring. We need Kobe White to be a scorer as much as he is a playmaker. He had 6 assists today, which is very good for Kobe White, but of course, you'd like to see a little bit more scoring. It's not the worst game from Kobe White. He did play the most minutes on the team, I believe, 37 minutes, so I think for that, you'd like to see a little bit more, but definitely not a bad game from him whatsoever. Obviously, we can finally talk about a good game from Daniel Gafford, 12 points and 9 rebounds. This is the type of game we need to see from Daniel Gafford throughout this entire month. If we're going to miss Wendell Carter the way that we missed Wendell Carter in the last game against Portland, Daniel Gafford has to step up and play these types of games. He played 22 minutes today, almost double what he played last game. He had 4 fouls, but Billy Donovan kept him in. Clearly, this game was much better suited for Daniel Gafford. 12 points and 9 rebounds. Now, again, the points for me is not a major concern for Daniel Gafford. I love that he scored double-digit points today. I love that he had very hard-working offensive rebounds and ones, and he definitely kept us in the game in the fourth quarter. That fourth quarter Daniel Gafford is what I like to see. The hard work ethic, the trying on the offensive glass, the getting the offensive rebounds, and then, of course, defending on the other end. This is what I want to see from Daniel Gafford. This is what will make Wendell Carter's absence not hurt as much. And it was a beautiful game from Daniel Gafford. Hopefully the consistency of this performance will reign throughout the month, because I do think we can win some games if Daniel Gafford is doing what he's doing on the rebounding end in today's game. Patrick Williams, big man Patrick Williams, 10 points, 2 assists, and 1 rebound. Now, Patrick Williams was very good today, in my opinion. And what really brought to me out for Patrick Williams was that he was making the right shots. He was taking the right shots. He wasn't necessarily making them. There were a few 3-pointers that didn't go in. But that's the right thing with Patrick Williams. We talk about how he needs to be aggressive. Sometimes, especially as a rookie, that's going to be hard to find, to be aggressive. Some players just are naturally aggressive. Other players are cool and composed, and they take the right shots that's given to them. Patrick Williams has to find that balance. We all know that. But again, he's taking the right shots. I don't mind Patrick Williams taking corner threes and missing it. At the end of the day, that's the right shot. I don't mind him driving into the paint when he needs to, especially when a player like Alec Burke is on him. That's the right decision. I don't mind when he does that. And again, I definitely think we will see a better Patrick Williams as time goes by. And this is just a waiting game. And we are all liking what we see from Patrick Williams. Whether people want him to start or people want him on the bench, he's definitely thriving, in my opinion, with this team. And I think he could do a lot better over time. Thaddeus Young. This is the last bench player I'm going to talk about, by the way. I know Gafford had a good game, but again, 13 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists for Thaddeus Young. This man cannot get his triple-double, man. Man. 3 games in a row that he was very, very close to it, and 3 games where he just falls short. But again, phenomenal game from Thaddeus Young. Absolutely instrumental to this victory. And a lot of people are finally seeing the real Thaddeus Young. Now, I'm not saying Thaddeus Young is going to keep this up at a consistent level. I don't know if he is going to be able to do that, especially when Wendell Carter comes back. But he is stepping up. He's showing that he's a veteran. He's showing that he's a leader. And he's showing that he's proving people wrong from last season. He's talked about it a lot, how he's comfortable this year, how he's fighting in the paint. No one liked the role that Thaddeus Young was playing on this Bulls team last season. No one liked him just being a corner three-point shooter. He can make them at times. He made one today. But that doesn't mean that that is all that he should be doing. This guy's an amazing facilitator, and he's playing at a very high level in terms of his playmaking. Not naturally an 8 assist, 11 assist player, but he can definitely playmake from the paint. And of course, making shots in the paint is extremely vital. And he's doing the hustle plays, he's rebounding, he's taking charges. He is becoming the real leader for this team. And that is a beautiful sight to see. And he's doing it off the bench as well. So again, an amazing game from Thaddeus Young. And that is all I'm going to talk about in terms of the bench. The rest of the team that did play was Garrett Temple, Otto Porter, Satoransky, and Denzel Valentine. No one else played today, but I don't think any of them had real standout games. Now let's talk about the must improve. And I'm going to target a bench player here. I'm going to target Otto Porter Jr. Now, Otto Porter Jr. was a late addition to this game. This could have been another game that he missed. Look, I'm very happy that Otto Porter's playing. I feel like he needs to get out of this habit of missing a lot of games for the Bulls. It feels like as soon as he came to the Bulls, he's been missing so many games for us. So I like to see him play. I think the more that he plays, the better he will get. It's very, very hard to be stop and go. 1 game played, 1 game missed. 1 game played, 1 game missed. It's very hard to do that. And some veterans have to do that. Maybe Otto Porter is leaning towards that part of the season, that stage in his career when he can't play back-to-backs or he can't play games in consecutive days. I'm not sure. I would like to think that's not the case because I don't see why he would. But maybe that is the path he's leaning towards. But I really enjoyed that he played today, but he wasn't good today. He played 18 minutes and only had 3 points. He did crash the glass. He had 5 rebounds. I believe he was one of our higher rebounding players, apart from Daniel Gafford, so that's good. But again, he's not really being aggressive. He's not finding his shot, and he's not making his shot. So it's just one of those things where if he makes his shots, he has a better game. If he doesn't, he's definitely one to stand out. Satoransky could definitely be someone that you could put into this, but he only played 10 minutes, so I'm not going to target Satoransky. He did very, very well in his playmaking when he came on. And the player of the game, of course, it is Larry Markkanen. 30 points, 2 assists, and 5 rebounds. 30 points for Larry Markkanen. Definitely kept us in this game. Shout out to Thaddeus Young once again. This dude is definitely, probably a lot of people's player of the game, to be fair. He's definitely up there. Probably the second player that deserves it. For me, the only negative I could say about Larry Markkanen is I don't think he scored in the 4th quarter. That is something that, in the crunch time, we missed him. We really did miss him. He did have an open shot. He missed it. At least he's taking the shot. But again, it's a very solid game. 34 minutes and 30 points is a fantastic return from a star player, from one of your better players. And again, 2 consecutive 30-point games in two games. It's a great return for Larry Markkanen, and he's playing very, very well at the moment. And not only that, it's balancing his scoring. How many shots did he get in the paint today? Because I guarantee you it's the most out of anybody on this team. How many threes did he make today? Because I can guarantee you it's the most that anybody made on this team. He is getting the best shot selection. He's finding his shots with rhythm. He's taking them in the paint. He's shooting the 3. All of his shots are coming with a rhythm, and that is the most important thing for Larry Markkanen. He's not forcing anything, and most of the time it's players finding him, which means that he's doing a good job moving around. He's doing a good job balancing where he's supposed to be. And that's a full credit to these teammates. It's also a full credit to Larry Markkanen. The Bulls' record is 8-11. We are slowly eating away at the negative record. Look, I'm not sure. I can't promise you we're going to be a positive over 500 team. But we need to be at this range. We need to be close. We need to be close to 500 because that's where the playoffs are. Close to 500. A lot of the time this season, last season, seasons before, the 8th seed is not a positive record. I can't guarantee the Bulls will become a positive record team, but we need to be at this range. We need to be at this level. We need to beat the teams that we're in competition with. We need to beat teams like the Knicks. We need to beat teams like the Magic. We need to beat teams like Charlotte and all the other teams that are fighting for that 8th seed. We need to beat those teams because that will give us the best chance to become one of the playoff teams. This is a big step in the right direction, but once again, we have the New York Knicks next game. Now, of course, I came into this wanting one win, but now that we got the win first, similar to the way that we versed the Wizards, I want to get the second win, because at the end of the day, you have the formula now. You've versed the Knicks once. You know the type of team that they are. You know that they're a gritty, defensive, hardworking, and crash the paint team. They're not the best three-point shooting team. You have the formula now. Let's see if we can extend that lead next game. Let's see if we can beat them next game. Full credit to the Knicks. I will respect the Knicks. At the end of the day, they've had just as tough, if not worse, than what the Bulls have throughout the entire journey of their NBA career in the past few years. So it's good to see that teams like the Bulls, the Knicks, the Cavs, teams that were struggling, are finding their way in this league. And we're doing it at a good pace as well. So with that being said, I'm going to end this video here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this victory, the Chicago Bulls. We've done it today, and let's see if we can do it in 2 days' time against the Knicks once again. It's going to be an interesting game, and I welcome another good game, a solid game, an exciting game. Heart in your chest moment today, but the Bulls did pull out a victory. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Bulls win. It's a good day for all of us. Have a wonderful day. Take care and peace.